Brazil was once the beating heart of football, a team that played not just to win but to stir the soul. Yet after years of disappointment, the Seleção lost their way, tactically adrift, stripped of identity, and far too predictable. With local coaches stepping aside and results falling flat, the faith of the fans began to erode. Against that backdrop, the Brazilian Federation's decision to hand the reins to Carlo Ancelotti sent a powerful message. Brazil was ready for a reset. But Ancelotti hasn't come to impose a rigid European blueprint. Instead, he's taken a more subtle path, blending Italian tactical discipline with the natural, instinctive flair that has always been Brazil's DNA. The change has been evident throughout their 2026 World Cup qualifying campaign. Take the 3-0 win over Chile. Brazil dominated with 64% possession, fired off 22 shots with 7 on target, and recorded an expected goals tally of 3.95, the highest in South America at that stage. This is a Brazil that now builds attacks with rhythm, manipulates space in the half channels, keeps its midfield spine solid, and transitions at lightning speed with sharp one-touch passing. Casemiro, though past his prime, remains the anchor in midfield. Bruno Guimaraes has been pulled deeper, tasked with orchestrating play rather than simply driving forward. They don't press frantically like Europe's modern machines. Instead, they punish opponents with patience, waiting for the exact moment to strike. Perhaps the most striking shift, though, has been at the back. Brazil have kept 3 straight clean sheets against Ecuador, Paraguay, and Chile, a reminder of Ancelotti's hallmark: defensive organization without passivity. Gone are the reckless fullback surges that once left gaping holes. This Brazil defends in shape, covers intelligently, and refuses to allow that deadly pocket of space between fullback and center-back to be exploited. Brazil's resurgence hasn't been loud, but it has been unmistakable. They no longer rely on dazzling solo runs to ignite the crowd. Instead, they convince with structure, with purpose, and with a tactical rhythm that flows from start to finish. Ancelotti's Brazil may not overwhelm you like the days of Ronaldo or Ronaldinho, but they offer something just as valuable: trust. A team that plays on its own terms, with clarity about who they are and what they want to become. That is the foundation of a lasting revival, not another fleeting burst followed by the familiar spiral into chaos. And yet, there was something almost surreal about their starting 11 against Chile. No Neymar, no Vinicius, Rodrigo absent, Militão left on the bench. The attack led by names that, only a few months ago, were strangers to the neutral eye. But on that night, the spotlight belonged to Estêvão. Just 18 years old, born in 2007, he scored a stunning opener in the 3-0 victory, a moment destined to be remembered. His move to Chelsea, worth up to $64.7 million, is already a statement that the world must take him seriously as one of football's future stars. But Estêvão is not alone in this rebuild. João Pedro, Luis Enrique, Wesley, Douglas Santos, all under 23, all gradually becoming central pieces in Ancelotti's vision. They may not yet have their faces on billboards across the world, but together they are refreshing Brazil with energy, speed, and most importantly, an ability to thrive within the system. Then there is the return of Lucas Paqueta after 289 days away due to a betting scandal. His comeback was a story in itself, layered with symbolism. Brought on from the bench, he needed just 40 seconds to find the net. The perfect answer to every doubt. His goal showed that Ancelotti is willing to hand out second chances, and that those given the opportunity must seize it. In this system, Paqueta no longer plays off pure improvisation. Instead, he's integrated into short passing moves through midfield, linking play and directing traffic between the engine room and the front line. Leaving out Vinicius, Rodrigo, Neymar, and Militão wasn't simply about injuries. It was a strategic statement. With qualification for the 2026 World Cup already secured, Ancelotti is using this window to test and experiment. Can Estêvão truly lead the way? Can João Pedro adapt as the central striker? Can the wide pressing system be stable enough to compete with the very best? These are the questions Brazil is asking itself, not out of desperation, but out of ambition. Brazil was once the birthplace of tactical revolutions, ideas that may never have made it into coaching manuals, but left an indelible mark on the game. From the 4-2-4 system that stunned the 1958 World Cup to the Joga Bonito style that enchanted the world, the Seleção embodied a football that was both scientific and beautiful. Yet, as the 21st century unfolded, and especially over the last 15 years, that glow has faded. Brazil still produces stars worth fortunes, still qualifies for every World Cup. But the essence, the inspiration, has been slipping away piece by piece. The appointment of Carlo Ancelotti marks a turning point, and also an admission. Brazil had run out of answers from within. For all their vast youth academies and the sheer number of Brazilians shining in Europe's top leagues, what they lacked was someone capable of shaping and leading the collective in a structured, lasting way. Ancelotti has not arrived to impose a foreign philosophy. He has come to reconnect Brazil with the very values they once defined. This nation always had everything it needed to be the greatest team of the 21st century, but what it lost was long-term vision and a coherent framework. In recent years, Brazil felt like a draft version of itself, constantly redrawn with every new manager. The problem was never talent. The problem was the absence of a leader strong enough to organize and steer that talent. Ancelotti may not be the archetype of a radical innovator, but he is a master of rebuilding and restoring order. From Milan to Chelsea, from Real Madrid to even Everton, his legacy has been one of stabilizing chaos. The reaction after Brazil's recent games says it all. Where there was doubt, there is excitement again. Where there was disillusionment, there is belief. For the first time in years, domestic pundits are admitting this team looks connected, cohesive, and in control, not just a collection of individual sparks. Even without the glittering names of Neymar or Vinicius, Brazil bossed Chile with 64% possession, 22 shots, and the highest expected goals tally of the entire South American qualifiers so far. Their attacking options are now more diverse, their connections between lines more deliberate, and their pressing no longer just a flat chase, but a coordinated system. And now, with a World Cup spot already secured, all eyes turn to the final qualifier against Bolivia in El Alto. It's a place that has haunted giants before, 4,088 meters above sea level, one of the harshest environments in world football. The last time Brazil played there, they ran out of breath after halftime and settled for a draw. But if Ancelotti's men can stay calm, control the tempo, and resist being dragged into a battle of pure physicality, it will be a statement. Proof that the broken thread between Brazil and glory is being tied back together. This new Brazil under Ancelotti isn't loud, but it is firm. They choose to win with structure, rhythm, and discipline, while opening the door for a new generation, Estêvão, João Pedro, and still trusting veterans like Casemiro and Bruno Guimarães to hold the spine. The numbers against Chile, the recent run of clean sheets, these are just the surface of a deeper rebuild. Brazil has found its direction again. They play as a system, explode at the right moments, and no longer depend on just a few names. It is the foundation of something lasting. The return of a Seleção ready to step into 2026, not just as entertainers, but as serious contenders. They may not dazzle like before, but they are sharp, calculated, and cold enough to chase the only thing that has ever truly mattered: victory.